Hey everyone, Tony Walsh here. Welcome back to the channel in another edition of Tool Tuesday. Today we're going to be talking about the Hoss Tools wheel hoe. So in all fairness and honesty, if you look in the description of this video and the majority of my videos, I have a link to Hoss Tools that if you copy that link and paste it into your browser and place an order using that link, I make some money. So not much, but I do make a few pennies. So in a way, Hoss Tools is supporting us with a little bit of change. But we have been using Hoss Tool seeds since 2020, and this is now 2025, and I just started this revenue sharing, whatever they want to call it, through Share a Sale, and I think they just changed their name. So we purchased this double wheel hoe, and I'll show you more of it in just a few moments. But it's a double wheel hoe, which means it's got a wheel on each side of the row, and here you see corn behind us. So there's a wheel on each side of the row, and I find that more stable to use, especially if you're on uneven terrain. Now, if you've watched some of my regular What's Happening on the Farmstead videos, you'll see where I spoke about this hoe does not work real good on bedded ground, where a mechanical planter behind a tractor planted the corn, or I need to do some more adjusting. Let me say that. But on this flat dirt back here behind us where we planted this corn with a hand seeder, a hand planter, this double wheel hoe is working great. Now we bought all the attachments to us, which means we got the cultivator points on it. That's what's on it right now. We bought a set of the oscillator hose, H-O-E-S, not H-O-S-E. And we also have the plow points. So let me get turned around and show you what I've done here already as an example of how well I have liked how this tool works. Then I'll show you actually how I use it with these cultivator points. Okay, as I said, I've already done these two rows, but not now. I've done the rest of them before, but not today. You can tell the difference between there and there. So it gets everything right up close to it, and it's able to do that because right here with these two bolts, them two bolts right there, you can adjust your plow points here. So that makes it good. I can actually got another set to widen this out if I want to, and I may, but I'm not going to right now. So you can still see that I have grass at the edge, but it's not right next to the corn. And if you saw my other garden, the weeds got away from us, and they're getting close to being here just because of the rain is still interrupting our ability to work in the garden. But I'm able to get out here this afternoon. So here's two rows. Let me get the camera set up, and I'm going to do these next two in real time, and you can just look at the counter to see how easy this thing works. And these rows are 40 foot long, so it's 40 foot down, 40 foot back. So let me get you set up. Okay, one thing I didn't mention a moment ago, that this is the high arch wheel hoe, which means as tall as this corn is, and you'll see it when I start walking through of it, a little bit of it is knee high. So it will hit the top of the high arch, but the corn's still flexible enough that I can go through it with this double wheel hose. My back's going to be to you going down, but I'll be facing you coming back up. So let's get these two rows done. Okay, I have the rest of the garden done, so here's all the rows, and like I say, it's not perfect. There are still large weeds here, and so you can't expect this thing to be a miracle when you can only do this once every 9 or 10 days. You know, that's the downside of gardening, is you have to have time to really do this stuff and make it work. But then, you know, you look at this row here, and you know, it's done a decent job. I can live with the grass that's still there. So I've got all this Silver Queen corn here done. Got 2.5 rows of white acre peas here done. You can see it done real good on the peas. Here we have some peanuts that haven't come up yet, so I skipped that because I didn't want to. You can see them, but I want them to get a little bit bigger. And then here's our Jimmy red corn, and it is not producing as good. And you know, this was a cotton field last year. It was sprayed to burn down, because you can see the weeds are brown over there. So all this was sprayed with burn down. We tilled it, and you saw a video of that with the red tiller there behind the tractor, but the weeds have just still come back, because this has been a cotton field, peanut field, corn field, tobacco field for, shoot, 50, 60, 70 years. So a lot of farmers went into this piece of dirt. So I am going to change the cultivator points to the oscillating hose, HOES, and let's get the middle of these rows and let's see what it looks like. Okay, I'm back here in garden number 3, and you can tell the difference between those, the middle in those 2 rows, the middle between these 2 rows, and just this outside right here. I have switched from what I call the cultivator points to the oscillating blades. And they call them oscillating because these blades will cut going forwards and backwards. You can see the sharp edge on this side, the sharp edge on this side. So they will cut going back and forth, and have made a tremendous difference. Now, we haven't plowed these middles or hoed these middles since this garden's been planted, what, 3 weeks now, 3.5 weeks. So that done a tremendous job, in my opinion, going from that to this right here. Now, one of the things I did was, when I put these oscillating hose on, or oscillating blades, I set them to the farthest outside setting, just trying to maybe not get too big of a bite on the weeds. But it's leaving a strip down here on the middle, which I knew it would, so I just wanted to see what it would do. So you can tell the strip right down here. Get my foot in here, right down here, all the way down. So I'm going to readjust the blades and move over to this row to where we can tell the difference between setting the blades on the outside versus setting the blades on the inside. So let me make these adjustments and I'll bring you right back. Okay, I've already moved the one to the left in, the one to the right, and I just use a ratchet wrench, ratchet box end wrench to loosen the nuts up. All you do is slide it in, and see, it closed that gap up right here. Now obviously there's still a little gap, but it's going to get the overwhelming majority of the weeds out of the middle. So let's try it out and do a comparison. Okay, the second row is done, and comparing it to the first row, to you it may not look like it was as effective with the blades in as they were out, but I noticed something when I was doing it. The grass in this middle was a lot thicker than the grass in this middle. So, and one reason I say that is because when I would get halfway up this row, I would have to pick it up and go to the end and knock the grass out of the blades, because I didn't want to knock it off in the middle because I'd have had a pile of weeds in the middle. So I had to carry it out to the end. And you see, I don't know if you can tell, that pile there and these two piles, where's that? Right there and right there come out of these middles. So it definitely works with these oscillating blades. I like them a whole lot better than I do the cultivator points. So moving forward, when I'm straddling the row of corn, I'll move the blades out. But when I get to the middles, I'll move the blades in. Now, my hope is that if I can do this every 2 or 3 days, because it takes less than 60 seconds to go up and down that row, as hard as it was or as thick as the weeds were. So if I can get this clean, like if I'll do this again today, I'm filming this on Saturday. If I'll do this again a couple days during the week, we can keep these things clean. So let me get to the rest of the garden, I'll bring you back. When I finished that last clip, I was down at the far end, so as I was walking up to this end, I noticed there was still a lot of grass that had been cut, was still laying in the row middle. So I went and got my metal tooth rake and raked up the middle, and this is what come out, what was left in there. Come over here and rake this middle. That's what was left in there. And you can see that pile is much bigger than that pile over there, because I just told you that this middle had a lot more grass in it than that middle. So see, now I can see where I missed. So I can go back again. But I'm going to get the rest of the garden first. So I tell you what, I'm really liking what I see out of this Hoss wheel hoe. And if I had been doing this once a week for 2 weeks, this would be smoother than a newborn baby's behind. So let's get the rest of the garden done. Well, my mechanic came to work on my tractor, so I had to stop for about 3 hours. And so I got back to this and got the Silver Queen corn done. And you can see there with the double wheel hoe with oscillating blades, did a wonderful job compared to what I wish I'd have took a before and a after. So you still see a little grass there in these 2 rows. These were much cleaner, much cleaner. I am tickled to death. Grass is a little bit tough right there, so I have to come back. But now that I got this, my whole point of this is, now that I have this will be much easier to maintain in the future. I've just got to get the mindset to get in here, make sure, if I don't get my 2 rows a day done, get 2 rows a day done. Much better here. And then the white acre peas here. Still have the rest of this due, but I got an obligation for tonight I got to go to, but hey, I still got some days I can get. Now that I know this process, this works great. But they always say the proof is in the pudding, or in this case, the proof is in the picture. All these weeds was pulled from that spot right there. And I could not have done it without the Hoss Tools double wheel hoe with the oscillating blades. Now, I've told y'all before that in this video description and in many of my video descriptions, there is a link to ShareASale, and they have just changed her name to AWin. So the link still works. I just need to go upload a new one, but this one still works. And if you copy that link and paste it to your web browser, if you buy something from Hoss Tools, I'll get paid a little bit of money. I've always wondered if it worked, and lo and behold, I know it does, because I got a small check in this last Thursday. So where I've always promoted Hoss Tools from the heart, I have to include this little saying, and I need to put the tag up there that says this is a paid promotion, because obviously I'm making a little bit of money from Hoss tools through their share a sale program. So if you want to know more about Hoss tools, go to growhoss.com. Look at all the equipment they have. Look at all the seeds they have, all the other accessories they have, because they are serious about gardening. They're also on Facebook. They have a Facebook page is Row by Row. They put videos out constantly on both Facebook and YouTube, so go check out growhoss.com. If you like this video, leave me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And I hope you've enjoyed this Tool Tuesday video.